Welcome to ASP Stuff Radio, the internet radio show where we talk about the inextricable force, Hunter Pence's energy, cosmic blasts, and how much we know that we don't know. Episode number 8. Today is Thursday, December 17th. I'm Albert Joseph Felice III. Joining me is Stephen and Paul Felice. Welcome, guys.
Yes,
Hi.
welcome. And I'm
the Force be with you.
May the Force be with all of you.
Yes, thank you. I feel the Force around me, in between my butt cheeks.
Wow. So is that Obi-Wan talking?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look, did you watch Star Wars The Force Awakens?
Not yet. We have not camped
on it.
Yeah. We're camped out there right now.
Let's go see Star Wars.
Hey.
Do we like Star Trek or Star Wars better?
I never really liked Star Trek. Star Trek's for geeks.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
I mean, the newer movies are interesting, but if you try we watched the original movie. Very
It was boring.
long. You know how in Space Quest you watch that little spaceship fly from one side of the screen to the other?
Yeah.
That's what watching a Star Trek movie is like.
Okay.
Oh, that's like
One of the old ones.
Space Odyssey 2001, right?
No, not that bad. There's dialogue.
Yeah, I remember Steven was watching Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey. I think it was within 15-20 minutes of the film, and he was zonked out.
But all it is,
Like,
it's just like a ship going from one side of the screen to the other, and it has symphony music too.
yeah, Strauss
So-
is playing in the background.
to make matters even better.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Star Wars has a lot more action and drama.
And a little green man,
And Jar Jar
Alien.
Binks.
a Rasta man, Rasta alien.
One of the most racist characters of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's kind of like Forrest Gump, right? He ends up being an important senator or congressman on accident or something like that.
I was just out of pity. I
Okay.
said, all right, you can be a senator.
Yeah, I'm Rasta Man. My name is Jar Jar Binks. I should host the show this whole time like this. I'm like this, guys. Yeah. So we're gonna scare away my listeners in Indonesia. Don't go yet.
So that's supposed to be somebody from Africa?
It's an alien. We don't even, yeah.
It's an alien.
An alien. An
Specific
illegal
type of
alien. Oh, wait. Speaking of illegal aliens and offending people, I created this disclaimer, just to warn our listeners in Indonesia. So
Okay.
I better play it first before we continue.
The following internet radio show, or, quote, podcast, end quote, may cause explosive intermittent diarrhea, violent diarrhea inside your pantalones. Please listen at your own discretion. You've been warned. So if you're ignorant, you probably don't want to listen to this show. Otherwise, you will crap your pants real bad.
That was a stormtrooper.
Has that been approved by the FCC? That disclaimer?
Yeah. They tested our podcast on several
It
people,
actually
and it
caused explosive diarrhea. Intermittent.
And 9 out of 10 listeners.
yeah. One person has a strong GI tract that can withstand listening to ASP Stuff Radio.
Yep. Wow. Okay.
That was Donald Trump.
After explosive diarrhea. So we have a list of topics. The most recent presidential Republican debate was this week. Did you guys watch it?
I think
I watched it like I watched Space Odyssey 2001.
Yeah, I watched the later second half.
I think I try to get to some highlights. Did it Rubio and Cruz argue or something? Is that the big highlight?
Yeah, there was some arguing. There's some good points made by several of the candidates, but I just thought, for me, there were 3 highlights. One by Jeb Bush. Did you guys see that part where he was asked a question about being commander-in-chief, and he made a ludicrous remark about basically reinforcing his nail-biting tendencies.
Did he talk about his nails?
His wet noodle nature.
So how did he... do you remember how he put it?
Let me play it.
Okay.
Commander-in-Chief question. You said that Mr. Trump is not qualified to be president because he's not qualified to deal with Vladimir Putin. Why are you better qualified to deal with Vladimir Putin than Mr. Trump?
Because first of all, I know what I don't know. I know what I don't know. I would seek out, as I have, the best advice that exists. I won't get my information from the shows. I don't know if that's Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I don't know which one. I will seek out the best advice, and I will create a strategy, and I will persuade the American people what the role of America should be. I've laid out a policy of rebuilding our military. All of the talk that we're saying here, most of which I agree on, frankly, requires a much stronger military. We now have a lack of readiness that is quite scary. We have planes that Harry Truman inaugurated, the B-52. We have the Navy has been gutted and decimated. The readiness of the Marines is way down. If we're serious about America's leadership in the world, then we need to make sure that we have the back of the armed forces. The Armed Forces Radio is here listening to this today. I hope they know that if I'm president, I'll be a commander-in-chief, not an agitator-in-chief or a divider-in-chief, that I will lead this country in a way that will create greater security and greater safety.
Mr.
I know
showing some cojones.
Yeah, but it really honestly sounds like a high schooler debating.
Yeah. Well, the first part where he says, I know that I don't know.
What does that mean?
I know that I don't know.
He knows that he's not as smart as Donald Trump.
Right.
And he's willing to admit it.
Yeah.
Whereas Donald Trump is not willing to admit that he is not as smart
and he
as
lies.
himself.
Yeah. But I know I'm not good.
But it is still a wet noodle answer.
That's a very wet noodly response.
And nobody wants to hear
consult with
that.
the appropriate authorities, and I'll make a good decision when the time comes.
I'm not an agitator.
I don't know. Just tell me to stop talking whenever.
I'm an agitator. I'm not a divider or an agitator.
Okay, can I stop talking now? Because I'm a little scared up here.
So there was that, and then
didn't Trump and Jeb get in a little argument with each other?
There were several arguments, but here I think this might be one of them. But before they argue, Trump attacks CNN. Do you get that part? Here,
no.
Let me play it.
I think it's very sad that CNN leads Jeb Bush, Governor Bush, down a road by starting off virtually all of the questions. Mr. Trump this, I think it's very sad. And frankly, I think it's very sad. And frankly, I watched the first debate, and the first long number of questions were, Mr. Trump said this, Mr. Trump said that, Mr. Trump. These poor guys, although I must tell you, Santorum, good guy. Governor Huckabee, good guy. They were very nice, and I respect them greatly. But I thought it was very unfair that virtually the entire early portion of the debate was Trump this, Trump that, in order to get ratings,
but Mr. Trump,
I guess.
it's not
in order
CNN.
to get ratings,
Mr. Trump, I was on CNN last night watching.
Excuse me. I think it's very unprofessional.
But it wasn't CNN. It was me. I watched you last night for 16 minutes.
I think it's very
not
unprofessional.
CNN. It's not CNN. It's America's watching you.
Okay, fine.
So he's
was that the mediator?
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Okay.
But he's upset that he keeps raising questions of the candidates. You know, Trump says this, Trump says that, Trump says this. How do you respond to Trump? Right? Like it has to revolve around Trump. And he makes a good point. You know, he's just they're trying to get ratings, but
yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And then here's how Jeb gets involved. I think this is when they start arguing.
It's America's watch.
So I was mentioned, so I can bring up something, I think, right? Look, the simple fact is, if you think this is tough and you're not being treated
this
fairly,
isn't tough and easy.
imagine what it's going to be like dealing with Putin, or dealing with President Xi, or dealing with the Islamic terrorism that exists. This is a tough business to run for president.
No, you're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is prepared. You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at 3, so far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do a thing to solve.
Wow.
Hey, it's ripping Jeb.
Yeah, poor Jeb. Poor guy.
Jeb. He walked in a firestorm.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be the year of Jeb Bush.
No.
He was supposed to be the front runner, and Trump came out of nowhere and took all of that away.
Yeah.
So he's really frustrated.
Yeah, well, Trump was a popular guy before he started this, and he's even more popular because of all of his racist remarks.
Yeah.
And as you heard last week in one of the clips, you know, there's quite a bit of folks that will back him up because of his racist comments.
Yeah. Oh, he was in Mesa, Arizona earlier this week.
Oh, man, you had a chance.
Yeah, I know. I was afraid of getting racially profiled, though.
Yeah,
What did he talk about there?
See, I have some clips.
Some local clips.
A summary of all the key phrases that he made.
It was actually in the college?
No, he was in a hangar.
Oh, a military hangar.
Base, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
We have such stupid people leading us. I used to say they're incompetent. I didn't want to use the word stupid. It's too crude and too tough. They don't know I went to an Ivy League school. I'm really like a smart guy. I'm a Republican, but I'm so disappointed in the Republicans. When we got majority, didn't you think it would be different? It's the same thing. We can't have a continuation of this stupidity, of this incompetence. We can't do it. I want the killers of Wall Street to do it, and they all want to do it. They don't want anything. They want to do it. Their ego makes them want to do it. Some of them actually love the country. I mean, look what I did to Bush. I haven't even started on Hillary. I haven't even started. She wakes up in the morning. I will not say that she puts on her pantsuit because that's what she does. I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying it. I will not say that. Look at those cameras. They are the worst people. The worst. The worst. I'm a world-class business guy. I have to get along with everybody. I get along with everybody. That's my job. The Hispanics that are here legally and that went through a process, those people they're for me because they don't want their jobs taken. They don't want their house taken. They don't want to be overrun by people pouring across the borders. We're going to build a wall, and Mexico is going to pay for the wall. And it's going to be a beautiful wall because someday they'll name it after me, and I want it to be beautiful. Nabisco is moving a big factory from Chicago to Mexico. I'm never eating Oreos again, I'm telling you. So ISIS is using our internet much better than our people. Right? Even though we invented the internet. So last night, I said, I want to infiltrate the internet, but people said, oh, that's freedom of speech. You can't do that. This one, that one. We need security. I said, wait a minute. This is ISIS. They want to kill you. There's a movement going on, folks. This isn't just like, let's go and have a good time. Somebody said, oh, Trump's a great entertainer. That's a lot of We have a message, and the message is we don't want to let other people take advantage of us. I mean, look at you in the middle of a day. You don't want to be, you're sitting in a hangar with thousands and thousands of people. Something is going on, and it's beautiful to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make America great again, better than ever before. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
I love you, Trump.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you, Trump.
Wow. Whoa.
That was one speech.
They cut it up. They just took out the essential or whatever.
Yeah,
sounds like he never shut up.
He covered 100 different things in one speech.
Yeah, that was it. He arrived and showed up for 3 minutes, and that was it.
Right to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you.
He is an entertainer, right?
Yeah.
He didn't think he is an entertainer, but he's saying this all to gain, to heighten his ratings, his poll ratings, right?
Yeah.
But I think all these candidates, not only Trump, but all of them, they're just there to divide the country, make it kind of polar opposites. You have impoverished people, you have the rednecks, and then you got minorities that they're just as poor as one another, but yet they're against each other just because of the color of their skin and just because of what the politicians are having them believe, what they're feeding them.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I saw a brown-colored person in the video clip supporting Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But were they Muslim or Hispanic?
They were Hispanic, but I don't know if they were there just to
protest, maybe
protest or anything. But
or some campaign advisor said, "Hey, you get behind the camera.
Yeah,
you're in this shot.
Yeah, I'm going to pay you $5. Make it look like Mexicans love Donald Trump.
I'll give you a lollipop afterward."
No Oreo cookies?
No Oreo cookies, no Starbucks. Who else is off of Trump's list?
Did he insult anyone recently?
Who hasn't? He's pretty much going to insult everybody by the time.
He insulted the entire Republican House of Representatives.
Yeah. And
well, he doesn't.
CNN?
Does he want to run as a Republican? Is that still up for debate there?
No, he is. He is running as a Republican.
Because doesn't he support some liberal folks like Bill Gates and some other?
Oh, that's right, the internet.
Yeah, and Warren Buffett or something. Or
he wants to infiltrate the internet and get Bill Gates to close down certain parts.
So he wants to shut down ISIS by shutting down the internet?
Well, not the entire. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how would he do that?
Well, you'd make it like
Twitter.
China. You'd make it like how China is. That the public's not allowed to surf the net. I mean, only government sites. You'd only be allowed to see what the government approves.
Or maybe everyone's going to have like a passcode, or you can only surf the internet for 30 minutes on certain times of the day.
Yeah, that's what China does a little bit.
Freedom of speech. Who cares about freedom of speech?
You know, they shut down the LA school district a couple days ago.
Well, yeah, that turned out to be a hoax.
Yeah, it was
what was that for?
Apparent threat.
A bomb threat.
Yeah,
I guess they got through a text. I think one of the school administrators got a text saying there was a bomb threat, but they just didn't really know where or when or what campus. But they took it seriously, and the superintendent decided they needed to shut it down for the day.
But they realized it was most likely a threat or a hoax because they didn't capitalize the letter A in Allah.
Is that what it was? Are you serious?
It was uncalled for. I don't know if it was New York or L.A.
It was both. Both L.A. and New York got the same threat.
Okay.
The superintendent at New York decided that it was a hoax and did not take it seriously. Yeah. The one in L.A. Did take it seriously. And I think the big reason was because they just had that mass shooting in San Bernardino.
I can't go to school. But if they knew that not capitalizing the letter A in Allah was blasphemy, why would they even...
Well, the superintendent, he had to make a decision. I don't know if he got... if the FBI got involved. I think the FBI might have said that it was a hoax, but they weren't sure. And there was really a limited amount of time. You have to think... I think it was Tuesday night that it came in, and then he had to make a decision by that morning.
Yeah.
So he went the safe route.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. You don't know what's going to happen, especially for Friday. The Star Wars, everyone's at the theater wanting to watch the new...
Yeah, you got to be careful with all that. Look out for theaters in Colorado.
Yeah, isn't that what happened with The Dark Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah, that was in Aurora, Colorado. That's right.
So here's a clip. This one was very another creepy moment for Ben Carson. He was
gonna give us nightmares.
He was asked a question about whether or not he would be okay with killing young little kids in, I don't know, Syria, I think. Let's see.
You mentioned in your opening remarks that you're a pediatric neurologist surgeon. Neurosurgeon. And people admire and respect and are inspired by your life story, your kindness, your evangelical core support. We're talking about ruthless things, carpet bombing, toughness, war. And people wonder, could you do that? Could you order airstrikes that would kill innocent children by not the scores, but the hundreds and the thousands? Could you wage war as a commander-in-chief?
Well, interestingly enough, you should see the eyes of some of those children when I say to them, we're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor. They're not happy about it.
Open their head.
And they don't like me very much at that point. But later on, they love me. Sometimes I sound like him. Later on, they really realize what's going on. And by the same token, you have to be able to look at the big picture and understand that it's actually merciful if you go ahead and finish the job rather than death by 1,000 pricks.
So you are okay with the deaths of thousands of innocent children and civilians? It's like...
You got it.
That is what war... Can you be as ruthless as Churchill was in prosecuting the war against the Nazis?
Ruthless is not necessarily the word I would use, but tough, resolute, understanding what the problems are, and understanding that the job of the President of the United States is to protect the people of this country and to do what is necessary in order to get it done.
To do what is necessary.
Oh, gosh. That was a weird response.
Those are weird questions, too.
They are weird questions.
I mean, it's a relevant question, but his response is way off. I mean...
I'd look in the eyes of a kid before I crack open their skull and remove their tumors.
But that's like saying, okay, we're going to kill you, little kid. Are you cool with that? And what he's saying is, yeah, they would actually eventually understand because it's for the better.
Pretty much.
They would be bad.
But that's what he's saying. That was what his response was. They would be fine with it because they understand it will be for the better. They're fine getting that brain surgery because they know eventually he makes them understand it's for the better.
Yeah, that's a classic ethical theory called utilitarianism, where the morally right act is the one that maximizes the greatest amount of good or happiness for the greatest amount of people.
Well, how about this? Did you agree with those nuke bombs in Japan of Nagasaki and Hiroshima?
It was for the greater good, to end war for Americans.
So you agree with that?
For Americans only.
Are you okay with it, Mr. Carson?
Well, when you look deep down inside a little kid's eyes and you realize that it's for a good cause, then yeah, slaughter those little brats.
Oh, yeah.
So what about you, Paul? That's what happened? Would you authorize that nuclear bombing of Japan?
Yeah, if Carson told you, Paul, in order to end this war against ISIS, we're gonna have to remove that tumor in your brain and kill you afterwards.
Well, that's basically saying you'd have to nuke a couple cities in Syria.
Yeah, and you're going to die, but it's for the greater good.
I think, again, it's like what we were talking about last week. There's other ways to take care of situations other than just bombing blindlessly at
Well, it worked. It worked
people.
for Churchill. It worked for Churchill. Now,
so
would it work in this case?
Well... You mean bombing Japan?
No, bombing Syria. I mean, if we were to make this
that's
analysis.
the problem with the questions, is that it's not the same thing. It's very different. We don't have
but then why do they keep comparing it to World War II?
That's what doesn't make sense. I don't know why everyone's bringing up World War II analogies.
Yeah.
Asking if people would be willing to kill baby Hitler or whatever Jeb Bush or Trump said. That they would go back in time and they would have no problem killing baby Hitler.
Wow.
So it's...
Why can't we, educate
that was several weeks ago, but yeah, it's just these weird World War II questions that keep coming up. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it.
Would you kill baby Hitler if you had the opportunity?
Yep.
I think instead of killing him, you have to raise him in take him out of the environment that he's in and raise him somewhere else.
Yeah, why? But no one could respond that way? No one could say, I would nurture him and...
I would look into little baby Hitler's eyes.
But that's not going to get votes.
Before I cut open his head.
That is not going to get votes. How is that going to get votes?
And I'd shoot him between the eyes with a gun. Take him out as if I were going to
and let him know that it's going to make me happy. And my cronies.
So you'd have the baby understand by looking deeply, softly into his eyes.
Yeah, a nurturing look, and then you just shoot him.
But why even give the kid a choice?
Stab him or anything. Don't lunge.
Why?
Just shoot.
Why
just shoot? No lunging.
And he lunged. He lunged that knife.
Why even give kids an option? They're too... I don't know, ignorant. They're not going to know.
Too malleable,
right? They don't have an option. They're at the mercy of all these brilliant thinkers.
Yeah,
right?
the brilliant, smart, insightful politicians.
Smart people like Donald Trump who went to an Ivy League school.
Yeah. Well, which babies are you talking about? The babies of the rednecks or the babies of Trump?
Both.
Yeah.
The babies of all over the world. The innocent children who are going to get carpet bombed.
Well, before they turn evil, you got to bomb them.
Yeah, it's the solution.
So that won't happen. That sounds reasonable, logical.
So, are there any candidates who do not want to consider bombing and approaching it in a more diplomatic?
There are, but they're not getting any publicity.
Yeah,
they're not getting any attention. They're not, they're not anywhere near. Having a chance to win the presidency.
So the media,
but those are the people that vote, right? You have to look at who are the people who are going to go to the polls. The people that back Trump, they fulfill a certain demographic, and if you motivate them just the way Trump is motivating them right now, they're going to go to the polls in droves, and they're not going to vote by mail. They're going to do it the old-fashioned way at their church.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord.
That's really what it's about. The young folks, they're not going to go vote. They're not going to do anything. They're gonna kind of think in their head it's bad of what's going on.
You don't think hipsters are going to vote?
Nah.
No? They're too good to vote?
Too good to vote. And you also, you sent that article about natural news, or how does that work?
Natural news about the different levels of existence.
Right, and the way you fight back is to not participate, right? So the way you do it, I guess, is to not participate, and that's kind of their thinking. That's
but then who's going to participate are all the ignorant people who plug into Fox News.
So do you disagree with the natural news?
Yeah, to some extent. You could vote for other people who aren't part of the Republican or Democratic Party.
The problem is the system is set up in a way that if you don't agree with the system, you're going to lose no matter what.
That's what the natural news is about. You just sent Paul that article.
So even if you don't want to vote, even if you want to vote, the choices that you have are so limited that you're not going to win.
So who do you go with? Because you're against Obama on this, Albert, right? No airstrikes on Syria, right? So you disagree with Obama 100% on that.
Right.
Same with Noam Chomsky. I heard his little clip.
Okay.
disagrees with that. So,
what does a linguist know about this?
Well, Paul, let me talk to you about it.
So you're saying you would vote the lesser of two evils, I guess, is what you're saying?
Are you asking me or Paul?
You, Mr. Philosopher.
Yes, well...
Then what would Noam Chomsky do?
Well, you just don't participate. You stop participating in terrorism.
Well, then who's going to win?
Well, that's an interesting question. It goes back to 1800s.
I don't know, Noam. You're losing me. So I don't know if I agree.
I'm going to vote for Ralph Nader. Woohoo! Wait, is he?
Nader's not running. I think if he did, this would be the perfect election for
I know.
him.
What's going on with Ralph Nader? Where is he?
He's too old.
Yeah, I kind of
like Noam Chomsky.
Yeah, I kind of like Rand Paul.
Rand Paul, was he on some debates?
Yeah, he was on Republican debate.
See, the problem is, like, even if there is a Republican that you like or prefer over, say, a Democrat like Hillary Clinton or whoever, even if you vote for that person, they're going to just do what all the other Republicans want that you don't agree with. They're going to succumb to whatever they want. So if there's a bill like, let's defund Planned Parenthood, whoever the Republican president is going to sign that bill and say, all right, I'll approve it. Even though you may agree with 90% of all the other things, when it comes to those types of issues, they're going to go with what the Republican Congress votes.
Yeah.
So right now you can stop those things because you have a Democrat as the president. But if you have a Republican, it's going through. Gun reform is never going to get passed if you have a Republican president.
Yeah.
No matter how likable that president is. So if there's some Republican candidate that you like, it sucks because even if you vote for them and they get in office, they're still going to go with what the Republican Congress or whoever else is making those decisions. They're going to go with that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if you don't agree with the system, you lose.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to line up too well because nobody's going to want to vote for Hillary at this point.
It's like you have to vote for her just because she's the lesser of two evils.
But nobody's going to come out in droves with Obama.
Yeah, if they're being apathetic,
but
right?
We need to vote for her because we want the first female president of the United States. That's why we're going to vote for her.
No, because remember her testes dropped? So she's not technically a woman, I guess.
She puts on her pantsuit, but he's not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it.
I didn't say it. I'm saying it.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Not going to say it.
Not going to say it.
I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know anything. All right.
I thought he said, I know what I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
I know what I don't know. Okay. I know what I don't know. I know. What the hell does that mean? I know what I don't know. I know nothing. Basically, I know nothing.
That's an oxymoron.
Yeah. I just know what I don't know. That makes me better than Trump because he knows everything.
Like a Yogi Berra saying.
I know what I don't know. Boo boo.
Not Yogi Berra.
the baseball player.
Speaking of baseball. I have a little transition for sports.
This should be a Star Wars music for the transition.
Sports. We're going to talk about sports.
Like that?
Pretty good.
Let's hear it again.
Sports. We're going to talk about sports.
It's a little mix of football and baseball. Huh?
Yeah. All right. So, what's going on in the galaxy of the San Francisco Giants?
Cueto and Samardzija.
Samardzija, isn't that an ISIS member? They hired
Shark.
Samardzija. That's an ISIS member, no?
It sounds like it.
Could be.
He doesn't look like it, but
Let's hear. So,
Abdul Samardzija.
How much do you know about Samardzija, Paul?
He does a shimmy shammy.
No, Cueto does the shimmy.
Or Cueto.
The shoulder shimmy. But Samardzija, he originally played football for Notre Dame. I don't know if you remember that 10 years ago. He was a wide receiver for them, and he probably could have easily made the NFL and been a receiver. But he decided to play baseball and become a pitcher and worked his way up. So now he's 30 years old. He had a couple of good seasons with the Cubs and then the A's. And last year he just had a really terrible year with the White Sox. And so they didn't re-sign him. And he became a free agent. But he's one of those guys that the Giants have been looking at for a long time. Especially when he was with the A's. They like that he throws hard and throws a lot of innings. So that's really what the Giants have been looking for, right? Because last year they had a whole bunch of guys who only pitched 4 innings a start. Yeah. So now they're looking for guys who can actually pitch into the 7th or 8th inning.
So how would you describe his mood, his psyche when he's on the mound in comparison to, say, like PV, Kane, or
I think
Bumper?
he's similar to PV.
Yeah, he's got passionate determination.
Yeah, or maybe not. I mean, he's not going to be outwardly passionate like that, but the way he pitches, think of PV 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Can throw harder. He throws a lot of sinkers and
nice.
Can stay in a game. And
how hard does he throw?
94.
Wow, that's already the best fastball of the Giants.
Yeah, I think they were saying he was in the top 5 in fastball velocity.
Wow, and good
on average, right? On average,
he's pretty tall, right? How tall is he?
I think he's 6'6" or something.
Randy Johnson tall?
His personality is he kind of talks like Randy Johnson. But he has a little more personality.
What does he sound like? Hey, Paul, I'm ready to go. Wait, that's
that's Bochy.
I was disappointed with my stuff last year, so kind of has that Randy Johnson.
Okay. Well, he's recovering from an injury, I guess, the year before.
He didn't have an injury, but he said he was tipping his pitches all last year.
What does that mean? I'm a little ignorant in baseball phraseology.
Not ready to talk sports.
Explain it, Steve.
For tipping my pitches, I'm going to tip my pitches.
Tipping a pitch is where you kind of broadcast, or you somehow give away what your pitch is.
Like poker.
Yeah.
Like a poker face, your poker pitch.
Yeah.
It's a tell.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
He was saying that there was something in his windup that would tip what pitch was coming, so the hitters knew it was coming and they just easily hit it. So now that's gonna. Plus, he's gonna work with Rigetti and the Giants pitching staff, so that should help, I think.
Yeah, I read an article on the Giants website, and they're like, "Oh, here comes the World Series. It's an even year or odd year coming up."
Yeah, there's a lot of high expectations.
But I think they signed these Cueto and Samardzija. If you tried to sign them last year, they would have been a lot more expensive. But this year, because they had down years, they're not considered the top free agent. They're not Greinke.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to. I mean, it's still expensive, but they were able to sign them for a lot less than it would have been last year. So Greinke. If you're looking at their contracts, Greinke signed with the Diamondbacks, right? For 6 years, $206 million. That's a lot. It's $34 million a year. Yeah, and they're saying that's something like $10,000 a pitch. $10,000 to pay Greinke to throw one pitch. So don't ask him to throw an intentional walk. That's going to cost you $40,000.
Or a wild pitch, even.
But so then the Giants signed Samardzija for $90 million and Cueto for $130. So if you do that by the per year total, they only spent like $5 million more than the Diamondbacks did on Greinke to get both of those guys per year. So that, you almost, in relative terms, it's a bargain.
Wow.
And the good thing with the Cueto deal is he can opt out after 2 years. So it's not like they're going to be stuck with him necessarily for 6 years. If he pitches well and wants to opt out, then he can leave, and hopefully by then the Giants have some younger guys ready to come up, which they don't right now.
The problem with Cueto is that he can't smash a baseball against his leg. He's not a Bo Jackson.
You saw that video? Is that what he said?
I just saw
what happened.
All right, he struck out. It just shows a clip of him striking out or getting struck out, and then he tried to smash a bat against his knee, and then
he needs to work out those leg muscles a little more.
So he's passionate. He's kind of passionate about his at bats.
He's got some fire. Yeah. The ironic thing on the Giants is that Madison Bumgarner, who's legitimately their ace, is going to make the least amount on their rotation.
Really?
He's only going to get $7 million this year.
Ouch.
Compare that to $18 million for Samardzija, like $12 million for Kane, 21 for Cueto, and $34 for Greinke. Bumgarner's only getting $7 million, which is nice.
When is his contract?
Well, he's under, I think, for like 3 more years.
Wow.
How's Hunter Pence doing?
He's fine. He was
injuries?
He doesn't have any. I think he's all ready to go. I mean, he was at Disney World. I don't know if you saw those.
Oh yeah, he proposed to his girlfriend. Oh, what's her name? Alicia? Oh, I should know. What am I talking about? I did an interview with Hunter Pence. Remember I told you guys?
Did you ask him about that?
No, I didn't ask him that. I asked him general questions. You guys want to hear the interview?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Albert Joseph Felice from ASP Stuff Radio. Today we have Hunter Pence from the San Francisco Giants. Hunter, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Hunter Pence, an outfielder playing for the San Francisco Giants. I was born in Texas. We moved around a lot growing up, mainly throughout Texas. Junior college, Texarkana, and then 2 years at University of Texas, Arlington. After that, I was drafted by the Houston Astros, got traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, which ended up getting me traded to the San Francisco Giants.
Which we're all happy that happened, but it seems like you've been all over the place.
Basically, my whole life, I've been somewhat nomadic. I've lived in suitcases, packing and moving. Found a good home here playing for the San Francisco Giants, working in San Francisco, but still living in Houston, Texas in the off-season.
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up?
My childhood was nothing out of the ordinary. Pretty shy kid coming out of Texas and really close with my family. My brother, he's my best friend, been my partner for forever, as far as we both had a huge passion for baseball. I think when I was maybe 17 in high school, I made a decision I was going to do everything I could to be the best baseball player I could, to play as long as I could, and it was just a decision. I was going to give everything I had for it, and all that effort paying off. It feels pretty special, and it is a dream come true to still be playing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So do you have any wise words you could tell the younger audience, maybe something about success in relation with your career as a baseball player?
Sometimes looking back I've had so many blessings throughout the journey from where I started and my success as far as a baseball player goes. Ultimately, the measurement of success isn't necessarily accomplishments or baseball or basketball or acting or whatever the case may be. Find what you love, I think, would be the most important thing. Find something that you love and give it your best. I think giving your best on a daily basis and and not listening to opinions of others.
Yep.
Oh, I'm too this,
Yep.
I'm too
Yep.
fat, I'm not strong
Yep.
enough, I'm not fast
Yep.
enough, I'm not smart enough.
Yep.
But it's never true.
Yep.
Love
Yep.
yourself for what you love, who
Yep.
you are. There's a spark
Yep.
of divine within all of us.
Yep.
The reason you have that love,
Yep.
and mine just happened to be baseball, is because you were meant for it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you were meant to love
Yep.
that, and you were
Yep.
meant
Yep.
to
Yep. Yep. Yep.
go
Yep.
chase your dream and believe that.
Wow, that's great. You know what? I'm going to go chase my dream right now, but I think it's running too fast. I'm getting a little old and tired, and it's just gone. But anyway, what else should we know about you, Hunter? What don't we know about you?
I think everyone knows that I'm a nerd. I don't hide too much, so I don't have any big secrets. I love gaming. I love competing. I love baseball, family, reading. I love Harry Potter. I read The Lord of the Rings.
You're such a nerd.
My girlfriend, Alexis, Lexi. It's kind of got me into this world of gaming and Game of Thrones.
Wow.
You could group me into whatever you want, but I just enjoy having fun. I enjoy embracing the day and being myself and letting go.
Wow.
That's me.
Thank you, Hunter Pence. I'm going to go let go and chase my dream right away. Back to my boring, mundane life now of reading philosophy books. This is Albert Joseph Felice III from ASP Stuff Radio. Meow.
Oh. Wow. Jeez, you landed Hunter Pence.
How did you get that interview?
Well, I just texted him earlier today, and I just used Kip Thorne's wormhole machine, and he teleported over here. And we just did a...
You should have asked him who his favorite philosopher is.
Damn it. I'll do it.
He'd undoubtedly say Noam Chomsky and Peter Singer.
That might be one of his favorites, top 10 favorite authors.
Yeah, if you had a redneck listen to that, I think he'd actually believe it was a real interview.
It was a real interview. What are you talking about?
I mean, of course.
Any more sports talk?
How come you were agreeing with him so insanely?
Well, the interview was actually 2 hours long. I had to cut it down to 2-3 minutes worth.
Jeez.
So that's why it's
devoted a lot of time.
just like the Trump thing. Those 2 hours talking, I edited it down to 2 minutes.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, and all Hunter Pence sounded really excited.
Yeah. Very excited.
And I think he should be. These are some good moves that the Giants have made. Hopefully they can add another outfielder.
For which spot?
Left field.
Left field.
What happened with the Cuban? What happened with the Cuban guy? Remember the Cuban guy?
Which Puig?
No.
Oh, Cespedes?
No, they were supposed to get somebody from, or was it Dominican?
Oh, that guy signed with the Cubs.
Oops.
But they had the deal all set, right?
Yeah, and some agent, he had 2 agents, and one of them went off and signed with the Cubs, and the other one told the Giants that they had agreed with him, but the Cubs deal went through.
Okay.
All right. Since we're talking about the Giants and switching things up in their roster, I think we should revisit the Ship of Theseus paradox that we introduced last show.
Okay.
So let's just do a...
Is it going to be Star Wars themed?
We can make it that. Why not? But first, let me play the... Let's see, Ship of Theseus clip from Plutarch. He's going to reformulate it. I'm going to fast forward it real quick. Okay, so that was the Ship of Paradox's summary version of that.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So.
Okay.
And then Handiko Heidemann, he responds. He provides.
He's back.
He came back. He has an answer to the Ship of Theseus. So thank you, Handiko. I'm going to read your response. Hello, ASP. I like your show. I listen all week. The Ship of Theseus is easy problem solve. It no problem.
English is getting better.
Yeah. It no problem, in fact. The ship do not change when remove planks. It's like when you're a kid and you fall off a tree. You break arm and need to get new arm. You replace arm with another arm. Same person. Or when you go skate on ice, you break both legs. When you go doctor like Carson, who cut leg offs and replace legs with 2 new legs from Cat, you are still you. You don't change and become Cat. You the same person. So the Ship of Theseus remains the same ship, one plank replaced. Wow. That was thought.
Deep.
That was very deep.
Jeez. Did he go to your class?
No, Hanako, you should come enroll in my philosophy class at Arizona State.
Guy does the online school.
Yeah. Very deep. So apparently, you remove all the planks of the Ship of Theseus, it still remains the same ship.
Well, I guess you gotta see what makes the ship what it is.
The same, right? So we have to define what is it.
Yeah, so say you have the Millennium Falcon.
Okay,
right?
good.
The spaceship from Star Wars. If
Don't
you took it apart piece by piece, but then built a different ship using the same pieces, would it still be the Millennium Falcon?
Well, what makes the Millennium Falcon the Millennium Falcon?
That's the thing. That's the puzzle.
Is it Han Solo?
Is it the parts themselves?
Is it Chewie?
Or is it
Chewie?
Is it... Does it have Chewie? If it doesn't have Chewie...
You got to get Chewie in here.
I know.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have the same... If it doesn't have Chewie, is it no longer the Falcon?
No, I don't think so at all. How could you do without that droll?
So if it was, say, that fish-eyed alien, the guy who says, "It's a trap!" Say he's flying the Millennium Falcon. Is it still the Millennium Falcon?
I don't think so.
It's 90%.
I don't think it is.
Or 50%.
Actually, remember in Return of the Jedi, Lando Calrissian had to fly it when Harrison or Han Solo was on the moon on Endor. Remember that part?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah,
and
it felt at that point. It was still the Millennium Falcon. It was out there fighting and shooting down.
Was Lando's partner the fisheye?
No, he had the Chinese alien.
Oh, the Chinese
Sorry,
one.
I don't want to offend people.
You kind of had this weird look.
He did look Chinese, though, just like Jar Jar Binks looked some other race. Star Wars Enterprise franchise.
So if you have a different pilot, then it's no longer the Millennium Falcon.
I think it is.
Oh, you think it is?
It still is. Yeah, because that ship took down all those TIE fighters and eventually destroyed the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it loses something still. I mean, I don't think it's completely the Millennium Falcon. I think it's partially.
So it's like 90%.
Yeah, you could determine a percentage.
Or what about when it loses its light speed capabilities?
Definitely not the full capabilities. Not the full. It's full self.
Mm-hmm. Or we could apply it to Luke Skywalker. If he loses his telepathic abilities or Jedi skills, is he no longer Luke Skywalker? Just an ordinary Joe.
Exactly.
He's just Luke Groundwalker.
Luke
can't do as much.
Ground walking.
Yeah, he's not the Skywalker anymore.
So what happened? Why did George Lucas screw up so bad with the first three? The first episode.
I think it's the first two. I think the third one he got all right.
You mean of the newer movies?
The prequels.
Yeah, the prequels.
I don't know. That first movie is pretty boring.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was because of Jar Jar. Second one was because of that Anakin actor. The actor playing Anakin, he was horrible. He ruined that one.
But I think at a more fundamental level, the script was missing. What I was expecting was a detailed story or the origins about the Jedi versus the Sith and the Force. I thought they would go into more detail about the Force, the origins of the Force, but they didn't.
That's true.
I think that's what was lacking, and probably a lot of people were expecting a more detailed description or a
Yeah,
historical
a lot
background.
of Star Wars geeks did not like those prequels.
Yeah.
I think they were okay with the third one because I think it does get into those details a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But those first two prequels, he tried to make kind of new stuff, and it didn't work out. Because it didn't go into the Siths and how they came about.
Yeah.
But
so what's the difference between so there's the Sith and then there's the Jedi? How would you describe the difference between the two?
Their upbringings as babies depends who was taking care of them. If you had a Jedi taking care of them, then they end up following the Force.
So the Sith uses the dark Force, and then the Jedi uses the good Force?
The light Force.
The light Force. So what is the Force? Any experts out there? Any experts, we dial in and ASP Radio and let us know what the Force is, what you think the Force is.
I think the Force is some type of energy that has no, there's no being or any supernatural entity behind it. It's this energy that's out there. Maybe it's dark energy. Some type of energy that you can figure out a way to control.
It surrounds us all, right?
Surrounds us.
Now, everybody has the ability to tap into this Force, if they have the ability to use that sixth sense. We all have it.
You'll have to put like Star Wars music behind it.
I know.
But what happens is you need to use a larger part of your brain, because as we all know, the average human only is able to tap into 10% of the full.
So
it's more like Eastern religion almost. Like being able to meditate, like Buddhism or something.
Yeah.
To be telepathic or to move things just on your mind force all on its own, right?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis, yes.
Yeah.
Telekinesis.
I remember when I was a little kid, after seeing Star Wars, I tried to move objects with my mind.
Did it work?
I think so. I saw, I went outside, it was very windy, and I tried to move a flower with my mind, and it was moving, and I thought, oh my god, the Force is working! I'm making this flower move!
And you heard Obi-Wan say, use the Force, Albert.
Move the Force!
And then you noticed it was a windy day, but we digress.
The Force? The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
That's the most detailed explanation of the Force, and that's it.
But you know what? It does exist. I do believe in the Force. In fact,
it binds us. It's all around.
It's all around us. So if I had the Force, I could cause cosmic blasts to occur in the universe.
You could cause them, because all that cosmic blast was a magnetic field going from a magnetar. And I sent Albert an article about this magnetar that's about 50,000 light years away, and it disrupted satellites over here on Earth back in 2004.
Now, did I experience that? Did we feel something? Was it like lightning in the sky?
No, it was all strictly electromagnetic based. So if it was a burst of gamma rays and X-rays.
So this is a different type of energy form that we can't experience because it's lost to our five senses.
Right, it's a part of the electromagnetic spectrum that humans cannot experience.
Right, because we just don't have that we don't have any senses to experience it.
Exactly.
So we're not Jedi Knights.
Right.
Or Sith.
So
Sith Lords.
If we were Jedi Knights and we had multiple senses, we would be able to experience gamma rays, infrared rays.
Yep. Yeah.
So the universe, this cosmic blast was just an explosion of gamma rays?
Well, it was a star, a neutron star that spins so quickly it produces this magnetic field that is so strong they have to deem it something special, a magnetar, and there was a starquake similar to an earthquake on Earth, but it's a star, so the starquake so powerful that halfway across the galaxy, Earth actually experienced it.
So basically, the universe farted really bad, a really loud fart.
You could call it
Sounds more
that.
like it had explosive diarrhea.
Yeah,
You could look at it that way.
So I think that's what it was. It was passing gas.
Particle stardust coming out.
The gamma rays.
Even the Force has to get out.
Even the Force flatulates.
So that's basically what it is, right? The universe flatulence.
Yep.
There you go.
And on that note,
go watch Star Wars. The Force.
The force that flatulates.
That's the next movie.
The awakened flatulent universe. Well, speaking of cosmic farts, we got a little game to conclude our episode. I was inspired by someone mentioning this to me. I can't name names. So
We only have 2 avid listeners, so flip a coin.
so Hideko and there's some other girl, right?
Gita. So suppose you're at your work and you got to take a major dump, and you run into the bathroom, close the stall door, and you know that before you release the dumplings, you know that several farts are going to come out before the poop exits. Now, there are like maybe 3 or 4 of your coworkers. They're in the bathroom. How do you muffle your farts? What's the best methodology of muffling your farts, Steven?
So are we
whoever.
Jedi Knights, or are we just regular?
Unfortunately, you're just regular non-Jedis. Now, if you were a Jedi, you would probably use your Jedi mind tricks to prevent people from hearing your farts.
Yeah, you can be very creative.
Now, can you just hold it till they all leave, your coworkers, or you just there's no time?
No, if you hold it in, you might have some dire repercussions. You might implode.
Does that cause cancer or something?
So how would you muffle your farts? What would you do? They're gonna come out.
I think if you breathe in, take a deep breath, that kind of helps.
Meditate.
Yeah.
And hope they don't make a noise.
You know how to differentiate, make a silent but deadly instead.
So you can actually will your farts to make a certain type, to exit a certain way?
Yeah, it's a sixth sense type of ability.
Okay.
You could will it. You don't have that self-control?
But sometimes there's those farts that just come out against your volition. Against your will.
Is this one of those times?
Yeah.
I guess it's just going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. Paul, do you have a suggestion?
Well, if I'm not a Jedi Knight, then I think I would just pull out my phone and play some really loud music so that you can't hear anything else.
All right, that's good.
Well, if you were a Jedi Knight.
If I were a Jedi, then I would just talk through the other people's heads and have them say, I did not hear that. I will continue concentrating on my own vowels.
Well, see, I would be on the dark side, and I would actually cause them to have these major bowel movements at that same moment.
You clutch your hand.
clutch my hand, and they'd have to rush into the stalls.
That's right. The throat strangling move from a distance.
Yep, and then nobody would know who's farting.
All right, well, here's my non-Jedi solution on how I would muffle my farts. I would quickly grab a bunch of toilet paper, stuff them in between my butt cheeks, and create a filter so that when it goes through the clump of toilet paper, it would make this kind of noise.
This is getting graphic.
There's actual science behind this.
Yeah, it's a brilliant solution, I thought.
Did you actually record that? Was that a recording?
No, that was me. That was
okay. I'm not sure if you actually did it.
So instead of this, it would go like this.
I guess that really sounds like you're blowing your nose. Poor Hideko and Gita. Yeah.
So are they asking these questions from personal experience? Some advice?
Personal experience. So it is Beethoven.
On that note,
we're going to say happy birthday to Beethoven for turning 245 years old.
And he is turned in his grave thanks to hearing about those explosive diarrhea filters. That's how he honored.
What?
Or Mozart?
Beethoven.
Well, was it Mozart who was deaf?
Or
Mozart was deaf. Maybe they were both deaf.
Or was Beethoven both deaf and blind? I think one of them was both deaf and blind.
I think Mozart was the one who was deaf.
We'll have to fact check it.
So he couldn't hear flatulence.
He wouldn't mind at all.
He would just smell it.
I smell flatulence.
But then he wouldn't can't talk either.
That's probably what inspired his music.
Some forms of smell of inspiration.
Symphony number 42 was inspired
by the strong, potent smell of poo-poo.
Of filtered
some Wikipedia on that.
Well, we need a fact checker.
All right, so what are you guys going to do for Christmas next week? Are we going to be in the same room to record an episode?
We might be.
If we have time, yes.
All right.
Yes, we should do it.
We should definitely do it. Because next week is Xmas. Christmas.
Oh, it was Beethoven who was deaf.
He was deaf. Okay.
Myra did the fact checking.
Thank you, Myra, for fact checking.
Well, Mozart, he wasn't anything. He was fine. No disabilities.
I don't think Mozart had any disabilities. He just died young.
I thought he was murdered by
Symphony number 5 and Beethoven.
Didn't Mozart get... Or was it Mozart who was murdered?
I don't think
that was Van Gogh.
I thought he was murdered. Amadeus. I watched the movie. Maybe it was...
That's a really good movie.
Yeah.
That's funny. You should get a sound effect of that guy's laugh.
I missed out, apparently.
It's 3 hours long.
Watch it on Netflix or whatever.
They were showing that at Harkin's Camel View.
Very underrated.
Yeah. Oh, and then I guess we probably don't have time, but I wanted to discuss Max and Richard.
Yeah, we'll have to text about it, I guess.
Yeah. What was that?
Elf on a Shelf, huh?
Elf on the Shelf.
All right.
Yeah, that was my idea. Some variation of that. Or we came up with that last year because we saw that eerie cartoon.
Yeah, that was weird. Elf on the Shelf is a creepy, scary concept to use to spy on kids.
It's a way of controlling the younger folks of our populations.
Not a good thing. Invasive. Yep. Very invasive.
Yep.
Alrighty.
All right.
Okay.
Did not talk about cats.
No cats this episode, unfortunately.
Next week,
we'll talk about Jedi cats.
Jedi cats, and we'll talk about the myth of Christmas.
Ooh, that'll be controversial.
Controversial. Just like with Thanksgiving, we're going to debunk every single holiday that exists on this planet.
I'm afraid to find out what they do to these Christmas trees.
They murder these elves. They pull their limbs off. But that's for next week.
They don't masturbate trees?
No. Masturbating trees? What?
All right.
Alrighty. That's it, folks. I'm Albert Joseph Felice III saying meow meow.
Signing off with our catchphrase, our signature phrase, meow meow.
Meow meow.
Our catchphrase.
Catchphrase. Until next time.
Meow 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 later.
Meow 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 meow.
And he lunged that knife. Give me a
About ruthless things tonight. Carpet bombing, toughness, war. And people wonder, could you do that? Could you order airstrikes that would kill innocent children by not the scores, but the hundreds and the thousands? Could you wage war as a commander-in-chief?
Well, interestingly enough, you should see the eyes of some of those children when I say to them, we're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor. They're not happy about it, believe me. And they don't like me very much at that point. But later on, they love me. You have to be able to look at the big picture and understand that it's actually merciful if you go ahead and finish the job rather than death by 1,000 pricks.
You are okay with the deaths of thousands of innocent children and civilians. It's like, you got it. That is what war. Can you be as ruthless as Churchill was in prosecuting the war against the Nazis?
Ruthless is not necessarily the word I would use, but tough, resolute, and understanding that the job of the President of the United States is to protect the people of this country and to do what is necessary.
You should see the eyes of some of those children when I say to them, we're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor. They're not happy about it, believe me. And they don't like me very much at that point. But later on, they love me. They love me.
I know what I don't know. 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 I know what I don't know.
This is ISIS. They want to kill you.
They love me.
I know what I don't know. 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 What I don't know. What I don't know. What I don't know. I know what I don't know. What I don't know. What I don't know. What I don't know. What I don't know.
We're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor.
I think it's very sad, very sad, very sad. I think it's very sad, it's very sad, very sad. I'm never eating Oreos again, I'm telling you.
Explosive, intermittent diarrhea.
This is ISIS! They want to kill you!
We're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor.
I want to infiltrate the internet, but people said, oh, that's freedom of speech. You can do that. This one, that one. We need security. I said, wait a minute.
We're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor.
You can do that. You can do that. There's a movement going on.
They love me. They love me.
Carpet bombing, toughness, war.
When I say to them, we're going to have to open your head up. They love me.
Gulp.
May the Force be with you.
I'm never eating Oreos again, I'm telling you.
We're going to have to open your head up and take out this tumor.
I know what I don't know. I know what I don't know.
So ISIS is using our internet much better than our internet, right? Even though we invented the internet. So last night, I said, I want to infiltrate the internet, but people said, oh, that's freedom of speech. You can do that. This one, that one. We need security. I said, wait a minute. This is ISIS. They want to kill you. They want to kill you. They want to kill you.
We're going to have to open your head up.
Because first of all, I know what I don't know. I know what I don't know. I would seek out, as I have, the best advice that exists.
I think it's very sad.
Testing.
Whoa.